Hello. Coming up on this edition of Cogeco News, there is no masking it. New regs today from the health unit. Big Fidelity trying to encourage shopping in Ontario and in Canada for that matter. And yes, a new star could be born. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Cogeco News. I am Greg Estabrooks. Well, indeed, the new mask requirements kicked in Friday, making it mandatory for people to wear a mask when visiting indoor public spaces. This requirement, happening more than 4 months into the pandemic and not at the beginning, is one of the thoughts in the mind of our Clark Hypo. We go to Clark out at the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit headquarters. Clark.
Yes, Greg, as we have worked our way through this coronavirus pandemic as a human society, we have learned that wearing a mask like this one does help prevent the potential spread of the coronavirus. At 12:01 this Friday morning, the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit placed a mandate that masks like this one must be worn in public enclosed places, including businesses, as well as in areas where social distancing cannot be done. As this coronavirus was declared a pandemic back in March, my question for Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Jim Chirico, was this: why now?
As more businesses and public spaces open and social interactions are allowed, we know that the risk of spreading the virus increases. And for that reason, this is why we've timed it for now. We all have a responsibility to keep one another safe and prevent the spread of COVID-19. Without a vaccine, we must use every means available to prevent outbreaks and reduce the impact of a second wave, which is very likely to occur. So wearing facial coverings in enclosed public spaces really can help. And we know that increasingly research points to the use of face coverings as an additional way of preventing the spread. And when people wear it, it helps to protect others. And so we want that to be the message, that when you see people wearing a facial covering, it means that I'm trying to protect you from getting the virus and you're trying to protect me from getting the virus.
That health unit video, produced video, animated video, really lays out the nice steps to follow to properly put on and take off and dispose of a mask. However, daily I see people wearing it on their chin, not covering their nose, throwing it on the ground. So can you reinforce the proper protocol for wearing a mask?
We often see that happening too, and it is important that you wear the mask properly. And we want to really emphasize the importance of hand washing. Wearing a face covering can increase the risk of infection, especially if you're touching your face more frequently, adjusting the face covering. And it's important for you to wash your hands before putting it on and taking it off. And all parts of the face coverings can become contaminated by breathing or when touched by your hands. So very important, wash your hands using soap and water, or if you have an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, use that. And before and after putting it on, when you remove it or adjusting it. So you want to make sure that the face covering really fits well around your nose and your mouth and allows for you to breathe easily.
Personally, I have a habit of connecting it to one of my buttons on my shirt to hang when I'm not using it. Is that a good thing or not?
Well, you want to try to keep it away from areas that can contaminate it. So you do have to be careful where you put it. And that's why we recommend if you've got a paper bag, that can help protect it.
So as we work our way through the summer months of 2020, have several masks handy and perhaps a Ziploc bag or paper bag to store them properly. Reporting from outside the health unit on Oak Street, I'm Clark Heipel for Cogeco News. Let's send it back to Greg at the news desk.
Thank you, Clark. Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli has been in and out of town of late, trying to do work still as the Minister of Economic Development and Trade despite the pandemic and trying to keep safe. He was at a big business announcement in Southern Ontario earlier this week.
I go down almost every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, drive down, do a function for the Premier or with the Premier as it is, and then drive home. I haven't stayed in Toronto in months. This week was Virox Technologies in Oakville. They are a manufacturer of sanitized wipes, one of the only here in Ontario. And we awarded them an $850,000 investment to open up a second line, hire, I think it's 20 people. And the second line is going in to help make these sanitized wipes that we need so desperately throughout Ontario. So the whole Ontario Together program is a $50 million fund that my ministry manages, and we award these. You'll hear some in Northern Ontario soon, and you might even hear some locally shortly. But it's all about personal protective equipment, and so the Premier and I have been out thanking companies for retooling and awarding these investments.
There's something coming up in August about buying Canadian and buying local and supporting local business. And I know that's something that you've been touting as well.
There's a couple of great programs. First of all, the province of Ontario has Ontario Made, and you can go on to the website supportontariomade.ca. The Chamber of Commerce now is coming out with a great program, by the way, an absolutely great program right across the country about proudly Canadian, buying Canadian goods. Look for that Canadian flag on the Made in Canada sticker. And of course for us, we like you to look for the Ontario Made. But right across the country, it's this swelling of pride. We're trying to encourage people to shop Canadian, buy Canadian, and look for the Ontario Made.
But again, as a trade minister, Vic, you want to encourage Buy Canadian as a politician and a businessman, but as the trade minister, that flies in the face a little bit of what you're trying to cultivate internationally when things get back to normal, whenever that is.
These are extraordinary times. And we need extraordinary methods. We've got companies all across Ontario that need your support. Main Street here, we need you to shop locally. There's so much to stay for. We need you to look for that Ontario Made, and we want you to think about being proudly Canadian when you make your choices.
A lighter topic before we depart. Your friend Peter Chirico was sworn in as an honorary colonel. You did that. You were more than just an honorary colonel. You held a couple of positions there.
Yeah, look, I think that's a great position for Peter Chirico, a great honor, and he'll be a super representative of the community with our Canadian Air Force. It's a great honor. It's a lot of fun, too. I was Lieutenant Colonel of the Algonquin Regiment and then the Honorary Colonel of the Algonquin Regiment. It's an exciting opportunity. Peter, at his height, he might still get to fly. He'll have to scunch in there. I know from the Army side of it, we got to...
It's okay, his spine's bending at his age, it's okay.
I know as the Honorary Colonel for the Algonquin Regiment, we got to fire the big guns and get to the shooting range in Burwash and do target practice and fire automatic weapons, which was exciting. Peter will get to hit the button on other things in an airplane. So I think this is just an exciting opportunity for both Peter and for City of North Bay.
All right, break time has arrived here in Cogeco News. When we come back, a Christmas themed raffle. Yes, I said that. That and much more right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Cogeco News. Next week, July 28th, marks World Hepatitis Day. The AIDS Committee of North Bay and area has been sharing its educational videos throughout the week to spread awareness and education about hepatitis C. Make sure to check out the AIDS Committee's Facebook page to see all their videos, and here is one of them.
World Hepatitis Day takes place every year on July 28th, bringing the world together under a single theme to raise awareness of viral hepatitis and to influence real change. In 2020, the theme is Find the Missing Millions. Worldwide, 290 million people are living with viral hepatitis and are unaware. Without finding the undiagnosed and linking them to testing, treatment, and care, millions will continue to suffer and lives will be lost. By taking a holistic approach tailored to diverse populations, the AIDS Committee of North Bay and area works to ensure that people living with and vulnerable to hepatitis C are appropriately identified, linked with equitable care, monitored, and treated.
Hi, my name is Pam King, and I'm a registered social worker and the Hep C counselor with the Hepatitis C program of the AIDS Committee of North Bay and area. All of the individuals that make up the priority populations we provide services for, and of which my colleagues have already talked about in the previous videos, are at greater risk of being underhoused or of being homeless, as well as contracting hepatitis C. Being underhoused is when you live somewhere that does not meet your basic needs of safety and personal space, physical health, financial stability, and mental health and wellness. Individuals who are homeless or underhoused or are at increased risk of being infected by hepatitis C and face unique barriers to Hep C testing and treatment. Hep C rates among homeless people in some Canadian cities are 29 times higher than in the Canadian population. Imagine the incredible stress and desperation you would feel if you suddenly had no home of your own, no bed that was yours to sleep in, no fridge to store your food in, or closet to hang your clothes, no bathroom that you could use whenever you needed to, or a chair that was yours to sit in when you needed a break after a long day. Your choices would be influenced by your environment. And when you don't have a stable, positive environment in which to live, you tend to make choices that negatively affect your health and well-being. For example, a young man at risk of Hep C is couch surfing with a friend. He struggles with addiction and suffers physical pain and trauma from his past. He has no income and no transportation. While staying with a friend, he's been sharing some hygiene equipment and some drug use supplies, not realizing the risks of Hep C. Hep C can be transmitted through using nail clippers, razors, pipes, straws, and billows for snorting, and unsterilized tattoo equipment that has already been used by someone with Hep C. Now consider how this same individual might make different choices if he had adequate, safe, affordable housing to live in. He may have a sense of self-worth because he has a home of his own. He may start to develop dignity and care more about himself, and leading to healthier choices. One of which might be to use drugs safely with new supplies each time, or to make safer choices regarding his hygiene. He may feel he is worth taking steps to protect himself from Hep C and other blood-borne infections. Having an adequate home makes a huge difference in being able to focus on one's health. Having a home provides the vital foundation for making other positive changes in life.
Powerful stuff, but again, we'll have more on Hep C Day next week. And something that only Clark Hypo would keep track of, Christmas is 5 months away this Saturday, but there is something very good going about it this far in advance. A head start on your Christmas shopping by buying a raffle ticket for your chance to win a handmade quilt, which will be awarded a week before Christmas. The raffle ticket sale blitz is in support of the Nipissing Serenity Hospice.
We've had 4 beautiful quilts donated to us for the purpose of raffling them off and raising some funds for the hospice. So we are having a quilt raffle. The draw will be on December 18th of this year, just before Christmas. So I think it's a great time to have a chance to win these over the holidays. Tickets are $5 a piece. There's only 3,600 tickets being sold. So your odds of winning something are better than the odds of a lot of other things. So we will be selling these from now until then here at the office and throughout the city at different times. But this weekend, we will be having a drive-through style quilt raffle ticket blitz. And we'll have some volunteers here at the hospice at 799 John Street, and they'll be selling the tickets between 10 and 2. You just drive up, you can pay cash or credit card, fill in the ticket, and they'll be ready to go.
We're going to get an up-close look at one of these quilts. A lot of hard work has been put into these. It just shows the intricate detail of the generous gift.
Yeah, definitely. This is our top valued quilt. This is valued at somewhere around $1,200, and it was quilted by some local quilters. And just to show you some of the detail here, I don't know how closely Clark can get in, and I am by no means a quilt expert here, but I can tell it is a beautiful piece, lots of details, lots of hours put into it, and very generous that this quilt, along with others, was donated to us to help us raise some funds and do what we do here.
The staff of the hospice celebrated its opening in January of this year, 2 months before the coronavirus pandemic took hold in North America. How has the staff coped through the COVID-19 pandemic?
We've done a great job. We've looked at the guidelines of the province and look at what's happening in our community to make those decisions. We've throughout this pandemic, we've had to limit visitors to our residents to 2 visitors, but we've adjusted as we went, and it seemed like everybody was able to be able to see people when they needed to see them, which was good.
And does the new mask mandate that was in effect at midnight tonight change anything of procedures at the hospice here?
It doesn't change anything, because although I am not wearing a mask now, because I'm talking to you, we do wear the masks, and everybody is wearing masks while they're in here. Families come in, they're having masks. They're able to take it off when they're with their loved ones, but they do wear the masks anywhere else when they're coming in, and everyone is screened when they're coming in as well.
Breakdown has arrived here on Ye Old Newscast. Beautiful Friday. Will it continue? Clark will have the weather forecast right after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
It is certainly a beautiful sunny Friday. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heupel here in downtown North Bay on Main Street. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Also here to suggest that you pick a shade of red to wear on each and every Friday to show your support for the men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces. I'm also here to remind you that the mask mandate set out by the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit has come into effect as of 12:01 this morning. So if you're heading into an enclosed public space and businesses, bring a mask along with you to wear while inside those spaces. Also have it with you if social distancing is not an option while out in the public. So if you're walking down the street, keeping your distance, you do not have to wear a mask. It's just going to make things a little more warm for you as the temperatures are nearing 30 over the weekend. Now looking ahead to this weekend, speaking of hot, Saturday is the day to plan activities including golfing, as it's going to be a bright sunny day with temperatures nearing 30 degrees. Sunday, some cloud cover, but warmer once again. Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Heading overnight on this Friday night, clear skies, a low of 15 degrees. The stars will be out. The sun will be out once again on Saturday, the 25th of July. Sun and only sun in the sky, high 28. The humidex making it feel even warmer. The UV index of 8. I recommend SPF 8,050. Overnight Saturday night, a mild warm low of 20, chance of showers. Sunday, the chance of showers persists with a warmer high of 29 and a cloudy low of 21. Looking ahead to Monday now, clouds once again, high 28, low 17, and Tuesday, the 28th of July, 25 and 17, chance of showers. Turning the page back to the almanac, we can tell you on Tuesday we had a high of 25 and a low of 13, just about normal for this time of year, as a normal high is 25 and the normal low is 14 degrees. The sun is setting about a minute earlier every night. Last night was 8:59, today is 8:58. Well, there you have it. There is your 5-day weather picture. Do stay tuned. Greg Esterbrooks will have your sportscast right after this. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. It is the 51st anniversary of Apollo 11 splashdown. Greg, that one's for you. Sports right after this.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
We're back, everybody. North Bay para-athlete Kevin McKenna is pushing and pulling towards monthly kilometer goals in his fundraising drive for the Sick Kids Foundation. McKenna is logging some 500 kilometers per month on his modified bike to participate in the Great Cycle Challenge of Canada. More in this report.
That is North Bay paracyclist Kevin McKenna accomplishing two things at once, arriving right on time for the interview in Lee Park, as well as logging more kilometers for his 500-kilometer monthly goal. McKenna raising money for the Sick Kids Foundation.
Family members, friends were going through a battle with cancer with one of their children, a family up north, so that was the first exposure I had to the ride itself. And the mother of the child, who unfortunately passed away, did the ride in honor of her child. So we supported that a couple of years ago. And this year I noticed a few more friends were getting involved and people were posting it. And myself, I've been battling some health challenges in that too. And I was looking for a journey to some wellness and health. So I figured why not have a more positive light on my own personal growth and raise some money for some kids that are having their struggles.
How emotional is it to be out riding knowing that what you're doing is helping people in need?
The further I've come along in this and the training I've been doing to prepare myself for doing the 500 kilometers now, it's given me a lot of time to think about how much of an impact it actually is going to have for these kids and for the foundation. And they've been reaching out to me with different letters when I've hit different milestones, and it's been really encouraging, and they reinforce how much of an impact this actually has for their foundation, and more people should get involved, really.
A major inspiration for McKenna, fellow North Bay para-athlete Dave Innes.
Dave Innes, that's one of my biggest mentors right there. Watching him take on his Invictus Games and his rowing really inspired me to get off the couch when I was down in a low point, and I wasn't very active and trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And just watching Dave push so hard, it really taught me that we should be moving no matter what. And he's I don't know, I can't even put it into words. He's inspired me a lot, and he actually gave me a shout out today, sharing my Facebook page, which meant a lot to me.
McKenna holding back the tears on this Friday. Do stay tuned to Cogeco News. Much more on his story during next week's editions of Cogeco News.
Clark Heupel, of course, with that report. And speaking of tears, he was talking about a splashdown. Well, if he ever decides to play tennis against me again, it'll be his tears splashing down on the court. Well, tomorrow, a special clinic at the Granite Club. A player who once beat Andre Agassi, Michael Chang, and Stefan Edberg, all Grand Slam champs on the Pro Tour back in the 80s and 90s, will be in North Bay on Saturday. Gary Mueller will be here. Retiring in 1997, he reached a career high of 49th in the world tennis rankings and 7th in doubles. Again, clinics are mainly sold out, but if you want to watch him, he'll be there 1 o'clock on Saturday. That's it for news, weather, and sports for the week. See you Monday. More Cogeco News live at 5 then.